Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy Survive Till 6 a.m. game. This is from Funko Games, who make a lot of fun and interesting different games. So, recently having watched the Five Nights at Freddy or FNAF movie, because my wife really wanted me to watch it, and she was it was a really good movie, by the way. Side note, it got me into the movie and the lore and been watching Let's Plays and all this. And I saw this game, and being a board gaming channel, I had to pick this up to see what it was. It is actually a very interesting, unique game. It has, I think, a very good feel of the game itself. Now, note, I have not actually played the game myself. I have the video game. I have watched people play it. But basically the idea is, can you survive till 6 a.m.? Now, this is a two-player game, which is actually pretty cool. It's one or two player. If you're playing two players, just to see who can survive. Basically, if you both survive, awesome. And then there's a tiebreaker rule. But you're not competing against each other. You're just essentially playing the same game at the same time. So you're not interacting with each other when you're doing two player. Like one's not you're both playing as the night guard. So it's kind of neat though. But basically, you get through the night, you check the security cameras, conserve your power, and avoid Freddy and his friends. It's very interesting. So here's the board. So you got a big giant long board here. We have a couple of things. We'll have our clock here. We'll have our office. This is where we are. So this is where we are trying to avoid Freddy and his animatronic friends from getting into. So if you're not familiar with the lore of this game, it's just, I'm not going with like deep diving lore, but the idea is that there are animatronics that start at the start different areas of the thing. Here they'll start, in different spots of the pizzeria, and you are trying to keep them out of your office by turning on lights to scare them off, or to keep an eye on them, kind of make them re-hide, or by closing the doors if they get too close. And then you have so much power. So every time you use the lights, you close the door to keep yourself from being attacked. It uses up your power. If your power ever hits 0, you automatically lose. Otherwise, you're trying to survive till 6 a.m. So this game has a very good feel of that. So we got 4 areas. We have the hallway, which is Cam 1. Cam 2 is Pirate's Cove. Cam 3 is the dining area. And Cam 4 is the show stage. The numbers on the bottom are going to show how many cards you're going to shuffle into each area, as well as how many animatronics. So you're going to have more cards with no animatronics in the first one, the closest to you, and then 11 with one animatronic each, and then on stage, or on Cam 4, you'll have 2 animatronics and 10. So throughout the course of the game, if you don't deal with the animatronics, or you don't deal with some of the possible jump scares in the game, cards are going to slowly move down towards you. And then if they get to your office, you automatically lose the game. Now, if we flip it to the other side, it's basically the exact same board, except now we have a 2-player side. We have an orange and a purple side. Otherwise, all the other stuff basically work the exact same way. But we're just going to look at this side for now. So we have a couple of different mechanics in here. Or not mechanics, but components. So we do have power remaining tokens. So they start at 100%. And then every time you use power, you'll rotate it down 90, 95, all the way down. And if you scroll back, you'll get to 0. It's kind of neat as it slowly degrades in green to less and less, more and more black. Just kind of a neat little effect. You also notice there are stars on some of these. This is meant for if you're playing 2-player. There are various things that may indicate who goes first. And if you're at the same, whoever has more power goes first. And if you're tied, then whoever has a star. So the star appears in alternate numbers. So here it's every 5 going down from 100, and here it starts at 95 going down. Yeah, so that's just what those are basically. We do have some power dice here. So these dice are going to represent how much power you're using during each turn. So every time you attempt to stop one of the threats, essentially, coming towards you, the jump scares, you'll roll these dice for each threat you take care of, and you'll eliminate either 5 or 10 power. And there's 1, 2, 3 5s on there. There are 2 10s, and then there is a blank side. So it's possible you could roll a die and not waste any power. But the fact you're rolling 2, it just cost me 10 power. So there's that. Then we do have time cards. So right here we have 6 o'clock, which is what we're aiming for at the end to survive to. And then we just have a time card that starts at 12 a.m. and adds up 12:30, 1, 1:30, 12. So these will just indicate how many different turns there are. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then if we get to 6 a.m., that's our winning time. So we have 12 rounds of play, which also makes this fun because it adds to that that full time limit of the game of being you have X amount of time, so the game's not going to go on forever. Either you're going to run out of power or you're going to not. And you kind of have to play it, and I can definitely see losing a few times. On the backs of the cards, we have 2 different decks. We have an orange deck for player 1. And then we have a purple deck for player 2. Now the cards are the exact same, with the animatronics being the only difference. So in the orange deck, we have regular Freddy, we have Bonnie, we have Chica, and we have Foxy. So we have the 4 different animatronics that are represented in the game. In the purple deck, we get Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and the Balloon Boys. I believe these were from the second game. Otherwise, all the rest of the cards are the exact same. They kind of show the same first location. They just didn't want you to have to play the exact same animatronics. Because that kind of makes it even scarier, because you assume you're playing on 2 different sets of cameras in a game. There's 4 different things, or different pizzerias, who knows. So we're going to have a bunch of these cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards here. They are just empty rooms. So these are just going to be the party room. But they're all going to look the exact same. So we get 11 of these. Just nothing happens if you have this card out. Fairly simple. Fairly easy to deal with. We have some power depletion cards. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. So if these ever pop up, they automatically cost you 5 power. So there's really generally no way around these. So they're going to eventually hit you. So something just kind of happens. And then we have the What Was That cards. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. I think we have 7 of most of these. So these ones are going to be 3 different styles. There's going to be the one that drops a new card down in the same location. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 of the What Was That, which will move them to the next location. So this will move them closer to you. These are the different locations. Like this is in the hallway. This is a picture of the Pirate's Cove. And then the last one we have, I think, 7 of as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7. Which gets you right next to the hallway there as well, the other hallway. And this will move a card 2 spaces over. So basically, if you don't deal with these What Was That threats, it can move extra cards over. So then how does this game exactly work? So what will happen is we'll shuffle all our cards up and we'll put them down in these 4 different spots here, shuffling in the animatronics. And I'm not going to shuffle them all up right this moment and do that. But basically what we're going to do is our rules are we advance the clock. So start of the turn, you move it. So we start off at, our 12 o'clock. Well, I guess you can't see me moving that. Reveal the top card of each deck from cameras 1 to 4. So you start with the hallway, move over. If there's ever an animatronic, reveal another card. So you react to the face-up cards by choosing 0, 1, or 2 cards. So you can either react to none of the threats, you can react to 1 of them, or you can react to 2 of them. Now there's 4 different rooms, so there's no way you can ever react to all 4 different things. You might, depending on what you might get penalized and have to take one of the hits on one of the cards. Although you could get the empty rooms and nothing might happen. roll the dice, subtract your power, discard and reshuffle cards not reacted to, then resolve face-up cards, resolve from camera 1 to 4, discard and reshuffle cards. So, fairly simple. Let me pause for a sec, shuffle these up, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I've shuffled all the decks. Since my camera is not zooming out far enough right now to see all the clock, I'm just going to put the clock up on the main board here so we can kind of keep an eye on it. So each stack should now have 12 cards. So I have 12 just regular cards, 11 each with 1 animatronic, which makes 12, and then 10 with 2 animatronics. We have our dice ready. We have our power meter set at 100%. So the first thing we want to do is turn 1. So we want to advance the cards. So advance the time, so we're going to flip the first card over. We're starting at 12 a.m. Now, you can't really see the office, but that's fine, because if something hits the office, it means we've lost the game. And now we'll flip it. Now, if you're playing 2 players, both players do this simultaneously. It doesn't matter how you really do it. They do say start in the hallway, although it doesn't, in the end, it doesn't matter because you do react to them. But we'll start with that one. So we're going to flip the hallway. So we have what was that going down. Then we have an empty room, which is always nice. We can avoid that. We have a power depletion right off the bat. And we have a second power depletion. All right, so that's not the best, but it's not the worst. So now what I have, since if I ever have an animatronic, I keep flipping cards until I find a non-animatronic card. We don't have any, it's not a big deal. If a pile ever runs out of cards, you don't have to flip anymore. So if for some reason you ever run out of cards, the cards might get moved from one stack to the other, or towards the end of the game, hopefully you ran through some of these. Chances of the player with the most power will react first. So cards you don't react to or can't will move closer to the office. So we don't have to react to the empty room, because it's not going to do anything. We don't react to power depletion, but we will take that hit no matter what. So I can opt to react to what was that, or I can ignore it. Now, if it was over here somewhere, I would probably just ignore it and let it hit. But the problem with it being right next to the hallway is because if it's an animatronic, I've automatically lost the game. If it is anything else, it might move a card over to my office, which might lose something if it moves a card over. So I definitely want to react to that. So I'm going to do is choose 1. I'm going to react to just what was that. So I'm going to roll my die. To check my power. Because first of all, you got to check your power. Make sure you have enough before you even do anything. So I'm going to roll my die. I rolled a 5. Alright, so that means I am going to then subtract. I'm going to have to subtract my 5 points. And then I also lose an extra 10 for that. So I'm down 15. So 5, 10, 15. I'm down to 85% on my first turn. It's probably a very bad use of my first night. Or my first hour. Actually, not even. It's my first half hour. Alright, so then step 3 resolves. So we did the reveal. Advance the clock revealed, and we choose to react to face-up cards. And if we flipped our step 2, roll the dice, we subtracted our power. Now we have to discard or reshuffle cards not reacted to. Alright, so you discard all of these, so we don't have to deal with any of those. And they're just off the board. They're not going to affect us anymore. Now we have to react to our card. But what I did was, since I actually... I resolved cards I've reacted to. Since I have reacted to it, I get to discard it. Since I did that. Since I paid my points. So I just go ahead and I discard this as well. Alright, so now we're completely free for the turn. Alright, awesome. Turn 1 was done. Nothing bad, terribly happened to us. Start the next round. 12:30 again. It's only a half hour. Oh, a power depletion right off the bat. What was that to move over? What was that to move over? And an empty room. Alright, so again, don't have to react to that. I will take 5. 5 for that. And now I have 2 other ones I can react to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to suffer them because I already took the bunch of the power usage cards and I can't really take any more. Now it does say here for power depletion, you do not react to these cards. If you roll the power dice, each base of power dice subtracts an additional 5 power. If you didn't react to anything during this phase, ignore this effect. So I'm going to ignore this or ignore checking anything so I don't have to take an additional 5. Otherwise, I could roll a 10, and I might lose another 15, and I really can't afford that this early in the game. So I'm going to react to 0 things. So then the first thing we'll do is discard both of these. Now, what these ones do is because they move the next card over. What they do is they just automatically move 1 card over to the next pile. The problem is I don't know what it is. I could have moved one of my animatronics over another spot. But now I get to get rid of both of those. Alright, so second half hour wasn't too bad. We're starting 1 a.m. And now we see what we got. We got what was that going down. Another power depletion. Another power depletion. And what was that going down? Alright, again here, I don't think I can honestly roll a die because I would lose at bare minimum 10 more power. And this early in the game, I don't think I can afford to do that. So we're going to skip again. And, this might be the bad move. Maybe I should have reacted to one of them and taken the risk. But, to me, I didn't think that was worth it. So we're going to start with reacting to this. So it's going to add another card face down that now I have to deal with. Oh, no, that's not good. Okay, so then we're going to have to react to this one immediately. So it says reveal top card, face down, and relatively listed in phase 3. So what that does, this is sideways arrows. It says place the top card of the pile in a new location without looking. If it reaches your office, reveal that card immediately. Alright, so this flips over to my office, reveal immediately, just an empty room. Alright, cool. So if it would have been an animatronic, I could have lost. And since, you have no idea. Now, luckily, because it's in the first stack, there was no animatronics in there, and I knew the card I moved over was this. I really didn't have to worry about an animatronic moving over. So, if, the first time I would have gotten any of them, I probably wouldn't have had to worry about it too much. But now I can discard both of these. But now we get to see what this one does. Another empty room. Awesome. Alright, so I'm not doing too bad, I don't think. Again, having never played this for sure, I can't say. Alright, so that could be very bad for me. Again, there's no currently any animatronics in that deck. But again, if I would have gotten one that would have moved stuff over earlier, that could have been very bad. Alright, so then we have our 2 empty rooms. We have what was that, this one, and what was that, this one. I don't think, again, I need to worry about this because there's no animatronics in the first deck and nothing's moved over. But this one could move one of those 2 animatronics from there to my first deck, now making that a problem. So I am going to react to that. So we're gonna roll 1 die. We got 5 power. So scooch our power back down 5. We will not react to this, so we'll discard these 2. This is gonna move my top card over, which is a what was that. And since it was not an animatronic, I don't have to worry about it. But then we reacted to this and we flipped the lights on. Nothing there. Alright, so we're good. Alright. 2 a.m. Empty room. Nice. What was that? Oh no, we haven't found any animatronics yet. So this is kind of becoming worrisome that we went this far without finding it. So again, 2 empty rooms, no big deal. These 2 right here, if I move this one, I could move an animatronic there. This could move it there. I think I'm going to have to at least get rid of this one. So it's just, we'll roll 1 die for that. I rolled another 5. So we can get rid of these 3. And then we'll move this card over. Cool. We're going pretty fast here once you kind of get the gist of it. So that one should still be fine because we didn't move anything to that one. This could be bad because there's animatronics in that pile. We have a Freddy. Oh no. And then we have a move over. We have a Chica. And a Foxy. And an empty room. Alright, so the last one was the empty room there. Alright, so now I have a lot I have to react to. Now again, I can only do up to 2 things, so I cannot react to all 3 animatronics and everything else at the same time. And the thing is, I do have to worry about, now it means Bonnie's in this deck. So it's very possible that could be Bonnie on the top here. So if I don't react to this, Bonnie can move over and I can instantly lose the game. So I almost have to deal with that card, just for that fact. Upside is this one is not going to move an animatronic over because Freddy was already right here. So I can ignore that card. I can ignore this card. Not too worried about that. So I can get rid of one here and I can react to one of these other characters. What happens if I don't react to an animatronic, they get moved over to the next deck. But you shuffle them in there so you don't know where they're going to be. Yeah, so there's so then they get shuffled back in there, so they could be anywhere in that deck. Luckily they resolve this way and not this way, so I have to worry about these guys coming in and these cards reacting. Now I could let Freddy move over one, or, because I could react one card to here, and I could react 2 to Freddy, or I could I could get rid of Freddy and just let Chica and Foxy move over. Then I would have less things to worry about in the last deck, which is always not a bad thing either. But then I'd have all 3 animatronics in this one deck. Which might be... Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a risky idea of what I want to do. Or do I want 2 in this deck? I'm not sure. Alright, we're going to have to roll 2 dice first. So let's do that. And so we got minus 10 power. Okay, we can deal with that. That brings us down to 65. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this one. This is one we're going to react to. So I'm going to toss that. I'm going to toss the empty room. Just so that I know they're out of my way. And I have one other reaction. Do I want to shut the door on Freddy, Chica, or Foxy? You know what? Let's put it on Foxy. We'll shuffle Foxy back into this deck. And then everything else is going to react. So we're going to do this one first. So that first card's going to move over there. That was just a what was that, so that doesn't hurt us. Nothing happens in the second cam. Cam 3. First, we're going to move a card over because we're going to go upwards. Does it actually say that? Alright, so yeah, we're going to have to do this one first. We're going to go up, I believe. I'm not sure which direction it says. Because in the example, they skip one of the bottom cards. So, I'm going to check the rules here quick. 1 sec. Alright, sorry about that. I go look up. So, the rules from someone that actually worked on the game says go top down for how you react to these. And then just another side note on the rules that I did say if a deck ever empties, hey, that's great. One less thing. Except if, for example, the first room empties out, everything moves over one more. So necessarily emptying one of the earlier rooms isn't always necessarily a good thing. So, alright, I have to react to Freddy first, which this is why... If I would have thought about this, I should have almost gotten rid of this and just left them guys. Because now what happens is Freddy gets shuffled into here. Which isn't, I guess, too bad. But now we already knew that was going to happen. Then now I have to move a different card over on top of him. So then now this reacts, and I move that over there. And then we move Chica over to this one, and we shuffle in there. So there's a lot of cards in Cam 2, including 2 animatronics, and there's an animatronic in each of the last ones. Alright, we're at 3 o'clock, so we're halfway there, and we're not doing that well, I don't think, at this point. But we have a what was that moved over. We know there's no animatronics here, but again, if this deck runs out, everything moves over. What was that face down? What was that over 3? So it's 2 piles. So I put them in the first room. And what was that over 1? Alright, so none of these are necessarily good. So we know we could let this one lapse if we had to. We can only, again, react to 3 of them. And then is every time an animatronic pops up, I have to have energy to be able to react to it. Even if it ends up just being in the first deck, I have to keep reshuffling them. Otherwise, I am going to lose. That's why keeping them over here would have been better. Since I moved 2 over, it's going to make them harder to react to. I think I'm going to let this one resolve. There's enough extra cards in that deck that maybe I can go ahead and let one happen. There's not a lot in these 2. I think I'm going to have to react to both of them. Just because I don't need those cards moving into these other 2 piles. So, alright, we're going to do that. We lost 15. So, 5, 10, 15. We're at 50%. Alright, so we reacted to both of these. So I'm just going to discard them. And then we're going to resolve these. So this first one is going to move over. It's just a what was that 3. It's not that bad. You can get rid of that. And then this one is going to move down. What was that? Moved over 3. So we immediately have to react to that. Is that correct? And then immediately resolve. So this first card here, now this could be a game loser because it's going to move us over to the office. It was a power depletion. Alright, we don't have to worry about it. We at least got 2 more cards out of that deck. Alright, we are not. Okay, last card in this one is a power depletion. Oh, great. So that means if I have to roll any dice, I automatically lose 5 extra power. And we still haven't gotten any animatronics. We're getting down there. So again, the issue with these is they immediately react. These ones, they just move over. That is going to automatically be our animatronic. We know that. So if I do not react to this card's moving over. I'm an animatronic on that deck. So I think but again, the problem is if I roll any dice, I automatically lose 5, and I'm already at 50. So that could be a potential for 25, which would be half my power. But do I risk it? I have to at least deal with this one. So I think I'm just going to deal with this one, and I'm going to risk the other ones. So we'll roll for 1. We got 5, so we're going to move this down 10. So we'll get rid of these 2. We'll react to this. Comes down. It's an empty room. Alright, not too bad. And then this one will move down as well. It is another empty room. Awesome. Now, since the hallway is empty, everything is going to move over, which means all of our animatronics have moved over. There's only 1 card in each of these decks. That's both of my animatronics. So, this is not going to be good. There's Bonnie, which means I flip another one. What was that moves over? There's Chica, and there's Foxy. So I have all 3 animatronics out. I only have 40 power. And there are currently 2 cards left in here. One of those are Freddy. So, here's what my problem ends up being. Is if I don't react to Bonnie, moves over, I automatically lose the game. So I have to do that. If I don't react to this, I have a 50-50 shot that it's Freddy, and I automatically lose the game. So I'm going to have to react to both of them. And that's just what's going to have to happen. I lose another 10 power. If I could get some of them zeros, that would be nice. Puts me at 30. So, alright, Bonnie gets shuffled back in. This gets discarded. Chica is going to move over to this pile. And Foxy is going to get randomized into Pirate's Cove. Now, I don't think I can win. Because I got all 3 animatronics in the first hallway. So every time I'm going to have to react. So if I could have kept them in the later ones longer, I think I would have had a better chance. But we'll see what happens. I got 2 hours. Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica. And Chica will flip over my last card, which will be What Was That? And then we will have Foxy. So there's no way I can possibly win, because I cannot deal with all 3 of them. I can only deal with 2 of them at most. So the last What Was That wouldn't make a difference. But let's just see what happens. If I roll, what would I roll? I would have rolled 15, which would have put me at 15 power. Anyhow. But yeah, if I dealt with these 2, they would have got shuffled back in. Chica's going to eat me. And then What Was That would have happened. But even if I started another turn, for some odd reason, if I decided to ignore Chica and I had 430, I would have then flipped all of these over. But Foxy would have moved over because I didn't react to him. I would have had 3 again. If I rolled another time, I would have lost another 10. Put me at 5. So I could have, again, at most, dealt with these 2. Foxy would have moved over and ate me. And then, if I went one more time down to 5 a.m., last 2, and I could roll to try and take care of both of them. I have 15 power, which is more than I have available. I would have had to roll 0 to be able to do anything. So I would have lost again, because now they both ate me. So, I unfortunately lost the game, but it's definitely, you can see how it's quick. Yes, I did kind of you notice as they got over to the end, I really just had no choice. But again, if I could have conserved some of that early power, I lost 15 power on the first half hour. If I wouldn't have lost that, I'd had some more. You probably could have just held them off at the end. Or when they're back here, spend your power to shuffle them back in. Keep them over there longer, or maybe spend some more time reacting. So it's definitely a game I think it might take a few times to get the strategy down. Also, I think playing with a second person would definitely be fun as well, just because of the fact that you could kind of see what their strategy was versus yours. Again, you don't interact with them at all. But that's what we have for Five Nights at Freddy's Survive Till 6 a.m. I know there's also a security breach version coming out. I believe from everything I've seen, it's the exact same game, just with the security breach characters and the location. But if it comes out and I can find it at a decent price, I might pick it up and check it out. There was another Five Nights at Freddy's board game as well, where you play as the animatronics, trying to eat the security guard or, kill them or whatever. Yeah, so maybe if I'll pick that up. If you guys see any other of these fun little games like this, or based off something you guys would like to see me do, just let me know in the comments. And I'll see about checking them out. See you guys later. Bye.